Hello, I'm Frank Binder, and I'm the broker owner of Royal LePage Binder Real Estate. No real estate agent or brokerage operates alone. We developed a network of preferred suppliers who we can call on to help us out in a complicated world of real estate sales. This is another segment of a series we've titled Ask the Experts. My guest today deals with a vital part of the after sales process, which assists our clients in moving or storing personal property throughout their move from one home to another. And we all know this can be a high anxiety to all of our clients. I'm pleased to welcome Brad Erickson from Portable Storage, who can assist you in your effort to move from a home to your current home and so much more. Welcome, Brad. So let's get started. Let's just talk about your business. Obviously, I'm somewhat familiar with the portable storage system. I moved 3 years ago, and I use that in terms of the move because in my particular circumstances, my new build wasn't ready when my other house sold. So in the meantime, we ended up doing a separate move and rented for a very short period of time. We had to store things somewhere, so we chose to do the portable storage system. And I was quite impressed by that, how that all worked out. And I could see why I start seeing now these portable units at different houses all over the place. So it's kind of interesting. Tell me when you started it, what you're thinking in getting into that business was, and all that type of thing.
Yeah, so we actually, about 15 years ago, we built a self-storage, like a permanent storage facility. Okay. And we were very quick to realize that there was definitely demand. There wasn't a lot of people didn't have the options, but I could see that there was an opportunity to be able to place containers in people's driveways. That way they had storage at their house versus going back and forth to the storage facility. And then that quickly evolved into moving the containers loaded. Once it was there and it was loaded, and then people started saying, well, why can't I just leave my stuff in there and you move it to the next location? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we started doing that, moving containers loaded, and it's just kind of expanded by leaps and bounds in the last. Well, we've been doing this now for 10 years, moving loaded containers. So
yeah, exactly. Were you in the moving business prior to that, and you actually do moving, or would you just?
No. We started. We actually had an excavating business, which we still have a small excavating business, and we just got into the self storage as kind of an alternative source of income, and then ventured into the portable units and the containers to move, and it just snowballed, and it's more than a full-time job now.
So. Yeah, absolutely, sure it would. What I found when I was doing this, there was a lot of ease of being able to move things into the storage container at my speed, right? When I was ready to do it, as opposed to somebody showing up my door and having to get all this stuff done right then. Maybe you could talk to that side of the business for me just a moment.
Yeah, so we, in my opinion, like before we were offering the service of moving loaded containers, everyone sort of had three options to move. You could gather up your friends and relatives and anybody you knew that had a pickup truck and kind of try to convince them that they should help you move, or you could rent a U-Haul truck, or you could hire a full-service moving company. There was kind of three options depending on which way you wanted to go. So now we've offered a fourth option into the mix, and it's the beauty of this is if you're moving, you hire or getting your friends, or you're renting a moving truck. Everything has to be done in one day. You have to hurry and get out of the existing home, and hurry and get into the other one. So it makes it's a very stressful time. Moving is stressful enough. But then having to cram everything into an 8-hour window and hope it's not raining or you don't have inclement weather that day is very stressful. So yeah, and like you said, you've dealt with the containers before. So the nice thing about the container, we can deliver it 2 days before you have to move, 2 weeks, 2 months, and you can take your time every time you come out of the house if you want. Carry a couple of boxes and place them in there, and then when it comes time to move the heavy items, you can arrange. Your friends could come over on a Saturday afternoon for an hour, or Sunday, or whatever. Or some people even opt to get a moving company in for a couple hours to move the heavy stuff in there into the container. But in the meantime, they can pick away at themselves, moving the lighter stuff into the container, and it makes everything a lot more relaxing. There's no rush. And then the same thing in reverse. On the day the house closes, we come back and pick up the container, move it to the new house. And yeah, so we've had some people call 2 hours later, the container's empty, and come pick it up. Most people take a couple weeks, and we've even had people call a few months later and say, yeah, we got the container here, and it was just so handy because we wanted to redo the basement, or we wanted to do the floors upstairs, or we wanted to paint a couple rooms. Rather than move everything into the house and clutter the house up, just leave what you don't need in the container until the renovations are done, and then move everything into the house. So it just makes the whole process much more relaxing than the other options that were out there.
Give me an idea. Is it just portables that you do in your business? Is there other elements to it, or just give me a sense of what all the things that you do offer in terms of a business opportunity?
Yeah, so basically, I guess just back to where we were about using a container to move. So another option that's available, if you have to be out of your house on March the 29th and you don't get possession of your new house till July the 1st, most people are scrambling. What am I going to do with my stuff in the interim? Where do I take it? Well, this is a great option. Place it in the driveway. You take your time and load it. The house closes. We come back and pick up the container. We bring it to our secure yard and store it until you have the new house or your new residence closing date, and then we move it there. So you don't have to haul it somewhere and unload it and then load it back up. So with us, you load once, unload once. It's not multiple times. So yeah, that's another option. But yeah, so basically all we do is containers. So moving is definitely a big portion of our business, moving the container loaded from the first house to the second house. We have a lot of containers rented to businesses if just their stock room or the back of their overstock. Some seasonal, you may bring in a whole bunch of extra Christmas stuff for the Christmas season, and the store can't hold it, so we put a container out back. Lots of options when it comes to stores and extra stock and seasonal items. Another big portion of our business, you mentioned you finished your basement, which you already had a container on site at that time, but it's getting more and more popular for renovations. You can just, instead of jamming everything into 2 or 3 rooms and freeing up a couple and cleaning drywall dust every other day, and worrying about the contractors breaking things, just move everything out of the house, out of the rooms that need to be renovated. Contractors love it because they don't have to worry about working around your furniture. They're faster, more efficient, and when the job's done, you bring your furniture back in, and it's as clean as the day it left the house. So that renovations are another popular
would be a big part of it.
We have a very unique, it's sort of state of the art. Like I said, we've been in this business for 10 years, and we've added this new system that we move all our containers with now about 2.5 years ago. So we like to be ahead sort of leaders in the industry, and we did a lot of research and found this new system. So we call it a pilot controlled level delivery system. So it basically is a remote controlled unit, and we have a lot of people want to make videos of us when we're delivering, picking up a container. So the main features of it is traditionally when a container comes to your house, it comes on a large truck because it's a large container, and that large truck has to back into your driveway and unload the container. So if you have a nice concrete driveway, stamped concrete, interlocking paving or paving stones, or a paved driveway, there's always a risk of that large truck because you're usually just driving in and out of there with family vehicles. Now this big truck backs on your driveway, and you risk cracking the driveway, scratching the driveway, and damage it. And the last thing you want is when the day you move out of the house and realize that the truck that picked up the container left a huge crack in the driveway or scratched it, and you're just dreading when the phone rings that the new buyer is going to call you and say, well, we want you to come and fix the driveway. So we've completely eliminated that. So the container comes on a trailer. Our truck and trailer stay on the road at all times. And then we basically unload the container and drive the container with our remote controlled unit into your driveway. So there's never any more weight put on the driveway than your vehicle's going in and out. And the other unique thing is the container is kept level. So when it comes off of the truck, it's kept level, and it's when we load it back onto the truck, it's level. So the contents in the container are never tilted. So there's no risk of anything shifting in the container. So it's kept level and no risk to your driveway at all. Those are 2 very important things we've learned. One other thing that's unique to our system too is we can handle more weight than other traditional trucks. So the last thing you want to do is get everything loaded, packed, and you get everything jammed into your container, and the guy's supposed to come up at pick it up at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon to move it to the new house. And if they were to get there and they couldn't lift the container because it was too heavy, it would just create a nightmare. So our system will actually lift way more. It has a capacity to lift way more than you would ever get in there, assuming it's household stuff. Yeah, if you
obviously
fill it up with gravel or something that we
No, but the bottom line is that's really important, right? You don't want to have a miscue at the very end of the day.
That's right. Yeah.
You're usually, if you're moving out of the house on a Friday, you've got to be out of there, and they don't expect you to be sitting there with a storage container at the end of the day when the new people are arriving. And so that's really, really important that you can get that out of there at the time. I appreciate that. Okay, take me through the process, okay? If you don't mind, Brad, tell me if I'm coming to you today and I want to rent a container, what's the process that I go through?
Yeah, so there's a couple options. You can go right to our website. You could request a quote, and it would produce a quote for you, so you kind of know what you're looking at as far as cost. Or you actually could completely book the container online without ever having to contact us. So those are two options.
So Brad, give me an idea. If I want to contact your office, what do I do? Give me your contact information. Give me your website stuff so that if somebody wanted to make contact with you, where would they go?
Yeah, so PortableStorage.ca is our website. Yeah. Email is info@PortableStorage.ca. And phone number is 1-833-692-9696.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that we can make sure that people get out to see you and use your services. I think very highly of them, quite frankly. So the bottom line is I've had great success with it. I really, really enjoyed the experience. And I'm sure that most of your customers will probably say the same thing, that they've enjoyed the experience. And, you got anything else to add? This would be the time before we sign off.
Yeah, as far as feedback from customers, we multiple times per week we get calls and the person is calling to say the container is empty, we can come pick it up. And they just say, I can't believe how easy it was, because 90% of our customers are new customers, because people only average move every 7 years. So with us being in business for 10 years, we don't have a lot of people that have moved twice while we were in business. But so most of our customers are first time, not only first time with us, but first time moving with a container. They say, I can't believe how easy it was to move with a container versus the other options that are out there. They really appreciate it. And then cost too. A lot of people are amazed. They thought, I thought this would cost a lot more. So roughly, and there's lots of variables, but if somebody was to get a container, say you took a week or 10 days to load it, and then 4 or 5 days or a week to unload it. So if you had the container about 2 weeks and you were doing a local move in Windsor, you'd be looking at around $250 for everything included. Now, if you want to keep the container longer, it's just by the day to keep it. But roughly $250. And we get calls when people say, I thought this type of service would be more expensive than that. So it's not a astronomical cost for. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the cost right behind you there. It says $497 per day. So gives you a sense of what the cost would be, right? Absolutely. And there's nothing hidden about that. So the great thing for me is that I can basically say, one of the difficulties we have when we make a recommendation, what's it going to cost me? Well, we now can see that very, very quickly and say, well, listen, depending on the day, I can quote you a daily rate, and this is kind of where it's going to be. So that's a great thing to do as far as we're concerned too when we make a referral. So I do appreciate that. Brad, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Really want to wish you the best in your business. Hopefully you're going to get through this pandemic like everybody else. And if it's anything like our business, there's lots of people still moving and doing things. So I'm sure that you're doing just fine.
Yeah, we've definitely been busy. And again, thanks to you and your team. And we appreciate you taking time to do this with us today.
Absolutely. So. Thank you, Brad. Yep. Take care. We'll see you. All right. Bye now.